When we come back, a few more silly stories on censorship, including what can happen during times of war.
More of the secret history of rock, coming up. Back to the secret history of rock with Alan Cross.
Nothing gets a song banned faster than sex. Such has been the case for centuries. I could quote you some lyrics from some blues songs from the early 20th century that would actually get me fired. So no wonder those songs didn't make it on the radio. And if you want to have a little fun, do some Googling on the phrase jelly roll. And you'll begin to understand why so many blues songs use that phrase and why you have so many blues performers who called themselves jelly roll. In the 1950s, some cities banned jukeboxes. Cesspools of vice, apparently. And if you followed American law precisely, you could get busted for sending lewd and lascivious records through the mail. What constituted lewd and lascivious depended on, I guess, who was doing the inspecting, I guess. From the 50s through the 1980s, everybody from Chuck Berry and the Rolling Stones to the Beatles and the Doors had their problems with censorship crusaders. And one of the most severe censors was the British Broadcasting Corporation. If you look at the history of the BBC, you might come away with the idea that they're one of the most uptight broadcasters in the world. And you actually might be right. In the mid-30s, the BBC banned jazz. In 1959, they banned the song Charlie Brown by the Coasters because it contained the offensive word spitballs. And then we have this. In January 1984, the producer of a BBC radio show came home to find his kids in front of the telly, watching the video for a song called Relax from this new band called Frankie Goes to Hollywood. All right, no big deal. He'd heard the song a number of times because the BBC had added it to the daytime playlist. In fact, the song had been aired close to 90 times by this point. But it wasn't until he saw the video that he realized that, oh my God, this song is about homosexual sex. The next day, January 11th, 1984, he went into work and explained to his boss, DJ Mike Reed, what he had learned. Reed was the host of the radio morning show and had millions of listeners every day. And after playing the song one more time, he too saw the light. He branded the song as obscene and announced that he would never, ever play the song on his show again. Now, this put management into a rather tough spot. Their biggest star had made this outburst. Any attempt to countermand that would look bad. So, the next day, January 12th, 1984, a memo went out across the entire BBC declaring that Relax should never, ever grace Her Majesty's airwaves again, radio or television. Well, there was one exception, the weekly chart show. I don't get that, but that's just the way it was. Well, you know what happened, right? 1 week later, the biggest song in all of Britain was Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It stayed at number one for 5 weeks. It sold 1 million copies in less than a month and 13 million worldwide. So, thank you, Mike Reed.